Okay, so I know you got the email and everyone's getting excited about plein air, right? Starting soon. When, Sigrid, is our first outing?
It's the last Friday in April. I think it's Friday, April 25th.
So that's 2 weeks from this Friday, I
Yeah,
think.
I think.
It's
Okay.
1 week from this Friday.
Whoa, okay, so it's coming, it's upon us, and I'm looking forward to it. So I found some really interesting new contemporary plein air painters I'm going to show you, but I can't resist the hilarity of these cartoons that I come across when I'm doing my research. Why in the world no one's laughing, but maybe there's a
I,
reason no one's laughing. Why do you
I
think?
don't get it, Charles. I
I
looked
feel
at
like
it
I'm
and I said, I don't understand this. What's funny?
Anyone?
It looks like
Yeah.
a stock market graph.
Yeah. Andrick, what do you think this is why I chose this?
I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let it go for now.
No,
No,
tell
you gotta
us.
tell
Tell
us.
us.
Tell me,
Oh,
what is funny?
we'll come back to it. I want to show you these artists I found. Again, contemporary plein air painters. And this first guy, Daniel Heidkamp, is a really dedicated painter. I mean, if he sees something out there he wants to paint, he just puts on his waders and goes out there and paints it. All right. So, and I think we have to be bold about getting what we want in our art. So he's an artist who has painted in the Cape of Massachusetts, and all the way, including he's painted in the French countryside, where the famous Barbizon school painted. You know, who's the most famous painter from the Barbizon school? It's Corot. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Charles,
can-
I'm just staring at him and imagining how cold his feet must be and how terrible it would be if he had a wind like there is today, because his picture might fly off the easel and the waves might do him in.
Well, no, that's nothing. Why don't you see the next one I have of him? But I want to continue. I want to make sure that everyone knows what the Barbizon School was. It was a group of painters in France in the later 1800s who started really the beginning of regular plein air painting. And we've talked a little bit how it was the invention of the collapsible tin paint tube that made that practical to do, right?
Yes.
And Corot, everyone knows who Corot was, correct?
Yes.
Yes, but I can't think of a picture he did that I should remember.
Okay, we'll talk about it more, but he was one of the major figures in the Barbizon school. Here's one of Daniel Heidkamp's paintings called Upstate Autumn from 2017. Now, I mentioned that he painted in the Cape of Massachusetts, and there is, Cape Cod?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, if you go way out there, there's an artist colony called Provincetown.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it goes way back, attracting American plein air painters. And he paints in and around that area a lot. And I just think this, so many of you like color when I was looking at your tie-dyed things earlier. And I think you should love this painting, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Who said that?
I do too. I love the color.
Okay, great. So I got a couple more by Daniel Heidkamp. Um, this one's called Black Rockport.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, nice feel, nice. I like the use of greens. He didn't let the green get overwhelming, and great big boulders.
Seeing all those
like-
shadows makes me
Yeah.
think of that picture we saw someone doing of the eclipse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
He's going to add shadows to it.
Painting
Yeah, that was me.
We talked about the eclipse, yeah, the shadows. Um, So what also I want you to pay attention to how he's framing the paintings. You see the frame?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's how we do it now. When I say we, I'm talking about the people that want to be in the serious art world. I've talked about that before, but I'm going to point it out when we see examples of it.
Is that like called a floating frame?
Yeah, yeah, or sometimes yeah, floating frame, and the canvas drops right into it, and it's simple. It's meant to be simple, and I want you all to really take note of that. Now let's look at a few more of Daniel's paintings. This is another one called Black Rockport. Beautiful kind of Matisse color on the ocean.
is this one 3 Mile Harbor by any chance?
Oh, it is. Did I get them out of order?
No, I think the previous one was Black Rockport.
Okay, so you have the image list with you.
Yeah, I do on my
Oh,
other
thanks.
screen. That's how I
Thank-
keep track.
No, thanks. I'm glad someone's correcting me because I get lost talking.
The thing, yeah, the thing I noticed though is I feel like this frame takes away, and I think I would have liked a similar treatment as what was done on the previous piece. You know, more of that stone gray. More
Yeah,
of a
yeah, you're right. Is this Ruth talking?
yeah, sorry.
yeah.
This is Ruth.
Yeah, you're right. There's something about that green that's jarring, but not in a way that I don't think works for the painting. So good point.
Yeah.
We got some good eyes here tonight. Okay, but here's another one by Daniel Headcamp, and this is Entree Vu, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think
I love this one.
I love it too. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I love how you're looking through the trees at the, you know, the body of water and the boat and the distant hills and everything.
Yeah, yeah, and he includes no. What is Mindy's here? Mindy, what does this make you think of?
Is it like gouache or the type of paint?
No, just you know what I'm thinking of when I saw this. I thought of when we all went to your house.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
sit on your deck looking out at the lake.
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of it. There's water and a big tree, and I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
And the deck and plus the deck in the foreground and simple things like the flip-flops or whatever that is. You know,
Exactly.
there.
The
Yeah.
incidentals of life included in the painting.
Yeah.
So it's not this idealization of the landscape, what you could do, but I just love seeing these everyday life paintings. It just really made me think of that wonderful time we had out at Mindy's last summer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like how it's sort of an ordinary scene, and yet it's very beautiful and calming to look at.
It is, yeah. It doesn't sacrifice any of the beauty of landscape to include some of the. It's very casually painted, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
especially the pine tree. I was noticing that.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's
Very
all it takes.
That would kill me to do that.
What do you mean to just
I
leave
like
it
the
like
shadows on the deck.
Yeah, just yeah,
I
that
like,
rough.
I like the color of the deck next to the greens.
that? Yeah.
Mhm.
And Chad said he likes the shadows. I do too.
Yeah, cast shadows just kind of dashed in there. So wonderful painting. Now here is another one by the same artist called Deja Vu. I don't know why it's called that. More of a controlled composition of a little bit of a corner of a house. And I like it. Same kind of simple frame, floating the canvas. And
What medium is he using? Is it gouache or something
no,
else?
I believe that they're all oil paintings. I didn't even
Oil. Okay.
capture that when I got the notes, but I'm sure they're oil paintings. And I like how we're looking through the gateway of the picket fence into the darkness of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, back to the framing for a minute on that. You can see the edge of the canvas where
Yeah.
it's not painted.
Mm-hmm.
And when I took a painting you know, to one of our favorite framers down in Rochester, they advised me against using a floating frame because some of that white around the edge would have shown. And, you know, I feel now that I probably needed to push back on that.
Yes. You know, it's a judgment call, but again, I think this is what it's the feel of modern art to show, to reveal something of the process that led to the painting itself. You
Mhm.
don't try to cover everything up. You're not kind of tidy it up. And it may just be distracting, but in this case, it just seems to be right for me.
Mhm. I think if the frame had been black, that might have been more of an issue,
Right.
but
You're right.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine the way it is.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. It's a good question though about. Okay. And here's one more by Daniel Heidkamp called RSVP. I don't know what the titles mean, but I like the distance of the feeling of the buildings across the field and a great big. Now this is a watercolor, I'm pretty sure. It could be gouache, but you get the sense of the that floating cloud, and he does put a little bit of the sun in there.
Yeah.
Simple and an enormous amount of space, feeling of space.
Charles, is that a person down in the bottom of the picture?
You know, I don't know. Why? Why do you ask?
Well, I was thinking of that Helga picture where she's crawling through a field,
Oh yeah, okay.
only she's much larger. Well, she's closer to the viewer, but if it is a person, it gives it even more distance. It's a
Yeah,
big
it
space.
would give it more sense of scale. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Now this is the guy that I was leading up to. I think he's coming up, but this is I will now try to pronounce this. It's a Swedish name, Ragnar Jartensson, I think. I don't. This painting's kind of unusual. It's called Architecture and Morality. Um, I don't know why. Is that the Eiffel Tower? That's probably something to do with it. But it's a night scene, and I hope this summer we'll continue our tradition of having one nighttime outing for plein air.
We'll
Yeah.
try if the moon cooperates and the weather too.
Yeah, well, weather is the main thing, I think, but
Yeah.
it's just a feeling that you get that you just don't see often in painting, unless you.
I
Now,
like
I
it.
am. So I was gonna say, I think those night paintings all turned out really, really well. A number of them have made it into the plein air book, and they're phenomenal.
I like the way on this one that the sky has a little hint of sunset still in it, and yet way up high you've got that nice blue. There's really a lot more to that sky than a black sky.
yeah, it's a deep blue and shifts a little bit to the violet side from what we see here. And a simplification of the shapes overall. So again, a nice simple frame. And I'm afraid I'm getting things, unfortunately, even though I do rehearse this and I print out everything in nice big letters, I keep losing my place. But this is the Swedish painter Ragnar, however you pronounce it. And this one is called Architecture and Morality. Now, why would he call it that?
Well, is it a synagogue by any chance or?
Yeah.
It looks,
He's plein air painting, and I assume it's Jerusalem or it's in Israel.
okay.
So he's painting one of the buildings, and you can see the Star of David and everything. So it sounds like this is the guy who I think I wanted to point to for an artist who's willing to take risk to get the painting he wants. Now, I wouldn't go anywhere near that part of the world right now, let alone set up an easel and start painting. You know, it's like announcing yourself as a target. But it is a
I wonder if he was painting a Jewish settlement in the West Bank or something like that. Maybe there was some other hidden political message there.
I think as I recall, it did say the notes I had said something about the West Bank. Yeah,
Okay, that would make sense then, because that is a big controversy right now.
sure. And an area wouldn't want to be out. I would think you would not want to be out there painting unless you really had some kind of vision driving you. So,
I especially like the sidewalk in that. You know, usually we think of sidewalks as just straight lines, but
Mhm.
instead he's got a nice zigzag there.
Yeah.
And the foreground, you know, there's space that they're putting in there. I like that.
It's smart painting. Everywhere you look, there's something that happens, even though it might not be. The building is the focal area of interest.
Right.
After that, the rocks and foliage, but even large areas like the driveway or whatever is treated with very thoughtfully treated with a calligraphic brush mark, the black paint.
I wonder if the cracks in the pavement are metaphorical.
Yeah.
Well, they also reach towards the building, so
They do, they draw the eye, right?
Yeah.
I think those are also construction cranes in the background. So
Oh,
the building and expansion might be the more
Mhm.
political statement.
True, right, true. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, how would you know where it is? And
yeah.
very interesting sky color also. Not riveting blue, not gray, but toned back. I like that.
It's a cool, very cool blue. Okay, yeah, thinking about the color temperature. So he's got this very coolish blue in the sky, but look at the stripes on the flag on the building. It's a much warmer blue, right?
Yes. Yes.
And there's a range of blues being incorporated. Okay, here's another one by the same Ragnar artist. And this is called, don't ask me why, it's called Raging Pornographic Sea. From 2006. And I like it. I just the feeling of the mood, the temperament of the waves, and then the few stars up there in the night sky. It's very intriguing painting.
Well, it sure has a lot of motion in the water. I'm trying to decide what that tall triangle is in the back. I guess it's just a big wave coming in.
A triangle?
Yeah, see how usually water is sort of flat on top unless you see waves, and there's a
Oh,
one.
yeah, okay. All right, here's a couple more by this guy. Now, this is a dramatically different direction. The same guy, Ragnar, and I'm assuming it's watercolor. And this one is called Omnipresent Salty Death.
Wow.
I don't
Heavy
know why.
duty title.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He couldn't swim.
Because what?
He couldn't swim.
Yeah, he doesn't like water.
It looks like ice, like it would be very cold, but it's a beautifully handled watercolor, I think. And one more by Ragnar called Night Swimmer. I don't know why it doesn't really looks maybe like Twilight, but it just has a casual, offhanded feel, and I like it because of that. Like maybe
You said he's Swedish, Charles?
it sounds Swedish. If you look up the spelling, it looks like a Swedish name.
Because the beaches in Sweden are kind of that way. They're rocky and you can look out in the distance and you can't see any other land.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see any other land till you're looking to the United States side. So, and it's kind of cold. The water's kind of cold. So
Oh, I can imagine, yeah. But
he reminds me of that.
he does get a feeling in all of these paintings, I think. I don't know what word to use, but he's not just rehearsing something that he already knows. Okay, now we're going to look at something that I have something very interesting. Let's see if make sure I'm there yet. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
This is another artist, Bo Carey. He's painting in the high Arctic archipelago of Svalbard. So he's up in the Arctic painting plein air.
now our group imagines that they want to paint in the winter, but every time we get to November and it's a cold day, only one person or two people show up.
Well, let me tell you, I've got just the answer for you if you think you want to paint on the cold weather. He was part of the Arctic Circle residency.
Oh,
So I've told you that I've done a number of artist residencies, and there's actually quite a lot of them you can apply to. And there's actually one in the Arctic Circle that you could apply to, and I have the link I can send you.
they may have a lot of openings for that, Charles.
I'll bet, yeah. I don't know how competitive it is. I don't,
Right.
but I have something interesting to say that he said about it regarding the difficulties of painting plein air when it is 20 or 25 degrees below zero. He said that one of the paintings he created in the Arctic was called Northern Lights. It was 20 to 25 below. And he found out he had to use walnut oil to mix with his paints, because linseed oil freezes at 4 below.
Oh dear.
And he somehow found out that walnut oil has a lower freezing point, or higher, I should say.
So you mean he's probably not doing watercolor?
Definitely oil painting.
Oh,
But you know, you have to really, if you want to paint the paintings you really have a passion for, you might have to make yourself a little uncomfortable. Just watch out for the polar bears.
yes.
those pastels would work okay.
Pastels are fine.
Yeah,
Now,
but you'd
here's
have to keep
another-
your fingers moving fast.
Yeah. Here's another one by the same artist, Bo Carey. This is called Sandbar. And it says here he has painted all kinds of challenging environments, from the Arctic to the desert. And even he painted once on a 10-foot raft floating in the middle of Lake Superior.
Oh,
And he puts in an 8-hour day when he's painting.
Wow.
So here's a different artist that I think you'll enjoy, Melissa Brown. This is called
Oh, yeah.
Tryon Path. Beautiful painterly landscape, beautiful everything about it. And I like it. Even though it's conventional and compared to some of the others we saw, it's just painted with a directness and a feeling for modern painting. And that's what makes me keep looking at it. Here's another one by Melissa Brown. Very beautiful painting called Autumnal Equinox Prospect Park. Just lovely, very Matisse-like color and lively composition. She's using the plants in the foreground, the foliage that we look past into the distant landscape, but using it in a fresh way. You don't like it?
I like this
Yeah.
one.
I do like it. Yes.
Lively, like you said, it's a lot going on.
Here's another one by Melissa Brown. Now, what building is this? Andrea, don't tell them.
is it the Guggenheim?
Guggenheim.
Okay, good. Everyone knows. And I know we talked about the Guggenheim before, but and this is Melissa Brown. It's a little more daring than the others, but she's still using the trees and branches in the foreground, looking at these geometric shapes of architecture, but painting them freehand. And it seems like it's pretty accurate, the perspective of the spiraling form.
Mhm.
It's just casually painted. In fact, this one, last one by Melissa Brown, just lovely little painting of a solitary tree.
Nice.
Now
So
here,
what do you,
go
do
ahead.
you think that's oil, or what did you say it was?
I think they're all oil. I did not, it didn't indicate, but I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay.
And you don't really know. It's in Randall's Island. Now, I have no idea where that is, but there's some structures at the bottom. We don't really know what the things are, but it's really a lot more about the composition and the space than it is the subject matter.
Well, I like especially in the bottom with the grass and the ground. She lets that brown go right into the green and it's very nice looking.
Yeah, nice transition down there. Yeah. Here's another one. Now, I'm sorry, it's a completely different artist. His name is Tal R, the letter R. Tal R. It's called Walk Towards Hare Hill. It's a plein air painting.
It sort of reminds me of Jill Grimel's house that was in the woods. And she had that little swamp and that unique home.
Oh, yeah. And here's what he said. I captured this because I wanted to read it to you. It's very brief, but Tal R believes you should look to amateur Sunday painters for inspiration because he talked about a film that he saw of David Hockney painting outside. And Hockney is very old and he's carrying around these big canvases and it's windy and he's trying to paint in the wind on these big canvases, David Hockney. And he just looked like an amateur out there, plein air painting. And Tal R makes the point that for Hockney and others, trying to paint a landscape that for him means something, but it's just, for Hockney, it was just a flat, boring English landscape. But he wanted to paint that. And he struggled and got out there in the wind to do it. He didn't need to paint Old Ben or whatever those things are in London. It's more about the space and the atmosphere of what other normies would call boring, all right? Artists find a lot in that to paint. And here's another one by Tal R called, again, these are all called Walking Towards Hare Hill. I have a couple more. I think it's exciting color. It looks like he painted it on corrugated cardboard. I don't advise it, but artists have done it. Beautiful incorporation of pink here, kind of an icky Pepto-Bismol pink, but I love it in the composition.
Well, the one before I thought was a sunny day. And then when we came to the pink one, I thought, well, I don't know what kind of day this is. I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just, wow, what a change.
Well, it's not, it's just, I don't think he's trying to capture the time of day or anything like that. I think it's the landscape is a motif for exploring color and shape and form.
I think they're all the same scene.
The same what?
Scene.
Theme?
Scene.
Scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
They all have that angled tree in the middle.
You're right. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
So he's probably just looking out his kitchen window for
Yeah.
all week, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a feelings series of how he feels when he looks at that tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're real interesting paintings.
Yeah.
Here,
I like them.
like 2013. I think here's another one.
Oh, I do like the feeling of that one.
Yeah. Puts that bold pink right on the edge of the painting.
Mhm.
And here's one more by Tal R.
It's hard to tell if this is like a close-up of just like a potted plant or a far away of, of like a larger landscape. Could be either.
Yeah, it looked, I don't know. Again, I just don't know what. the subject is he's depicting. I
I
thought,
thought at first it was a picket fence and there are trees behind, but I can see what you mean now by it being a close-up of a plant too.
yeah. And he does odd things, like he lines up that heavy black tree with what I thought was a gateway to a fence right below it. It kind of
Right.
flows into it. And doing those unusual things when you're good and you know you could do it the way you're supposed to do it, it becomes really interesting to start breaking those little rules, like a game. Okay, now here is almost the last painter I'm going to show you, but Lois Dodd. I've shown her to you before. This is called Tree Trunks and Dogwood from 2005. Now, I just read when I was putting this together that she's 102.
Oh my.
So she was out there painting. I don't know about now, but she was in her late 90s painting some of these things, as we'll see. And she said, I used to drive around looking for new places to paint. Now I just move a few feet this way and a few feet that way, and I find something. So I don't have to go anywhere, which is convenient because I'm getting old. Now, we used to look at her a lot when I was in grad school and talk about Lois Dodd, so I hope you'll look her up on your own. I think they're beautiful, very contemporary feeling landscape paintings. Here's another one,
Lilies.
Calla Lilies by Lois Dodd. And this one's a little odd. It's called Spider Web by Lois Dodd. And one more by her called Corner of Bakery and Tree. So that little house must be a bakery. And there's a tree next to it. But we think, oh, I want to paint that house. We feel like we have to paint the whole house, right? But if you just paint a corner of it, you get the house feeling. And there's a lot of, you can take a lot for granted. Look at the eaves. Look at that drain pipe coming down from the eaves, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's so much complexity in there of shape, and then the shadow that shows us what the light is doing to reveal the gutter. Now,
Mhm.
you would think a gutter would be the least interesting thing in the world to paint, but look what she finds in it. And she finds that within what's kind of a somewhat realistic traditional landscape. It's not, real traditional, but within that scenery painting that she's doing, she observes this little thing of architecture, the gutter,
Well,
especially.
I really love the woods that she did. What a unique color and little hints of trees, but you know they're trees.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of going on in it if you study it. Okay, and this is our last artist, Bruno Dunley, it's called The Lake.
Oh.
But it's the kind of painting that I love. It's kind of basically abstract painting, and it's about the paint and the surface and the expression that comes from the gesture. And why he called it The Lake, I don't know. But here's what he said. Bruno Dunley said, I was educated, meaning he went to art school, and I was educated to believe that the sunset was a tacky image, an image of dubious character. And of course, he was referring to the endless proliferation of sunset paintings that we see, which has just turned it into a cliche. But when he was walking in the dunes of East Hampton one day, he encountered a sky that challenged that assumption. And I think they're referring specifically to this painting. In other words, he saw a sunset when he was out on East Hampton and thought, well, I'm going to paint it because I see something different in it. Where's the sun?
I don't know.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't think he's talking about this one. I think they're talking about this one where if you think of that blue, as he's on the land, Then you see the blue is the water, the ocean off Hampton. And then the sky is orange, the thin strip of orange.
So maybe the sun just went down
Yeah.
and left the sky orange. Or it's
Yeah.
just going down and it's above the picture.
That's what I think.
So he's diminished the sunset in favor
Yeah.
of the large scenery before it.
Well, I don't have anything against sunsets if you could do something new with it. And he did. Okay, that is all for tonight, but I wanted to leave you with this.
Okay, now I got this one, but what about the title one? The first one, it's the ink drawing.
That we're seeing the landscapes the same way, that we should be looking at different ways.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot quite recall it. What was the caption to it?
Town's
PJ.
landscapes all look the same.
Oh yeah, there's the joke in it was that landscape in particular, it just seems to become so cliched and generic that it's very difficult for how can I put this? For to call it art, you really have to find something inventive. There has to be something. And you don't want to make it into a novelty or something like that. But that's why I show you these. I pick out these paintings and show you what I think are good paintings, but where the artist has got an artist's eye, even when it's just a sunset, like the last one we saw, or a plein air painting, especially since we're going into it now. I'm hoping we'll all try to be fresh and inventive in what we do out there. I think we will.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for putting up with me again. And,
Thank you, Charles. That was interesting.
Thank
It was
you.
nice seeing you all.